Hello, hi, and welcome to Empathic Fire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Aries in December 2019. What's going on, Aries? How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. Oh, boy. Aries. Hi. It's been a minute. It's been a while. You're the first sign that I'm doing for the December monthlies, and this is several days late. That Thanksgiving break, I had a vacation. It wasn't really a break. I gave myself a vacation. Really actually took a lot of my energy away. I was actually doing a lot of recouping, a lot of resting, reflection and stuff like that. So this is why this is coming out. Today is the 4th of December. So this is a little late for you guys. I normally get you guys out a little bit before the start of the month. So I apologize for the lateness, but hopefully you're able to forgive me. Anyway, guys, here we are, end of the year. Are you excited? Because I'm excited. I got a lot of things going on. A lot of things going on. Yes. Anyway, so I'm excited to see 2019 bid itself adieu, and I'm ready for 2020. Hopefully you are too. So anyway, this is the big holiday month, right? So Merry Christmas for those who celebrate, Happy Hanukkah for those who celebrate, Happy Kwanzaa for those who celebrate, and just happy holidays, good cheer, and goodwill to all of you, all that fun stuff, okay? Hopefully everything in your life is going swimmingly, and if it's not, I hope it improves, because that's what, you know, why would anybody wish bad shit on anybody else? Anyway, guys, I've shuffled off camera. That is your main spread there. Oh, before I get into that, I won't do it for December because I have a lot I have to do in December. Literally a lot of things I have to do. But look for another live event for the collective coming in the new year, sometime in January, just to point that out. I'll put it on the community page for those who are subscribed here. If you're not subscribed, welcome. Feel free to subscribe if you like what you see here. But I will go live again for the collective in January. Okay, Aries, just wanted to point that out in the beginning. Now, on to the regular spiel. That's your main spread there. Shuffled off camera to save time a little bit. We'll shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that's when the reading begins. Feel free to check in the description box for the timestamp if you want to jump ahead. Also down there, feel free to look over the information you need if you want to get a personal with me. Simply follow the directions that are down there. But if you have a question before you actually place an order, feel free to email me at the same address, okay? Anything else? That's about it. Let's get into it. Let me see Aries' outcome for December 2019. Aries outcome in December 2019. Please show me. There it goes. And your only reversal. Yeah, only reversal, because I can tell with the back of this deck when things are reversed. So there you go. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. Let's flip what came face down for you, Aries. All right. I totally screwed that up a little bit with how I placed those cards. I think this is okay. Looks pretty decent. All right, let's get into it. Please show me where Aries is in December 2019. Please show me Aries in December 2019. Please show me. Come on. Please show me Aries in December 2019. Please show me. Okay, we got it. Okay, guys. Coming in, Aries, to December, you come in with the 5 of Swords. So, exhausted. Maybe some of you are spending a little bit of time on your back, not in a sexual way, but literally maybe some of you are sleeping more, resting more. Maybe some of you are going to, I've never been, but I think this would be a position if you, well, not that position, because that's like a starfish or dead man's pose almost. But maybe some of you are like going to a chiropractor or, you know, seeing your physician or seeing a physical therapist, something like that. But the 5 of Swords traditionally isn't a card about rest, but given the depiction here in this deck, I feel some of you are really just like exhausted and in need of rest. And the reason you would be exhausted is because of what we traditionally think of when we see the 5 of Swords, Aries, is arguments, fighting, disagreements, people having a war of words with each other. And it can be kind of a nasty energy sometimes. I think in many of your cases that nasty side, the real like dirty, grimy part of whatever disagreements you've been involved in recently has dissipated, and now you're kind of in the aftermath of the storm, right? The calm after the storm, I suppose, or that settled down period. And as you can see, there's only one person left. So some of you may have lost some friendships or lost certain relationships or lost contact with people. Since we're talking about swords, we could be talking about communication. And also look at the landscape that's on the card. Like it's a desert, it's desolate, it's barren, right? So some of you in some form or fashion may have been taken to the cleaners with whatever disagreement you've had with people. Or you've kind of, if you haven't had a disagreement with another person or people, I feel also some of you have hit the reset button on yourself, on your own life or an aspect of your life, and you're kind of starting over. And this is very interesting. This whole starting over is really coming through for all of your instances. For those who are going to resonate with this feels like a starting over. And I don't know why I have to snap my fingers, but I did. And that's not normally a part of the Five of Swords. I mean, it can be, because it does talk about, you know, like I said, disagreements and arguments and things kind of, you know, coming to a head in a group situation where people aren't getting along. And then that, of course, doesn't last forever. Fives are challenges in the tarot. They're challenges, but they're short-lived. They involve change. They involve some type of growth, but through trial and error almost. And then after that, you kind of get this reset energy. So I feel, Aries, most of you are coming into December with this reset button switched on. And I don't know that you're necessarily, I'm not sure yet. I'm not really into any of the other cards just yet. But some of you are feeling, some of you will undoubtedly feel invigorated by this reset. You know, if Aries has bad blood with a person or someone has bad blood with you, and if you can't patch it up, many times Aries is quick to recover, quick to get back out there, quick to, you know, pick themselves up and dust themselves off. So some of you, not many, I should say, some of you feel really like, okay, that's over with, it's fine, I'm fine, you know, whatever happened, happened, and let's move on to the next thing. Others of you, much like that person there on the card, you're like really lamenting, or just like you've been really knocked over by whatever has happened. And the recovery time is a lot slower than what you might be used to. Because again, look at the landscape. It's a desert, right? If we're looking to, let's say, start up a farm or start up a business or build a home, this is not a forgiving landscape. This is not an ideal place to start. So some of you are really lamenting and really sorrowful or dismayed about what has happened, what has transpired. And some of you are just like, I don't know if I got it in me right now to get myself back up off of the ground and start over, or go about, you know, my business and taking care of myself, or taking care of whatever needs to be taken care of in your life. So it's a mixed bag. As a starting position, not so strong, not so positive, but we'll see what else is going on, okay? So what else happens with Aries for December? Please show me. Okay, so you got some realizations coming in, or you have been aware the whole time. It's gonna be varied for everyone, but this Ace of Swords being the next card for you, Aries, in December, it feels like some home truths are coming out. And oh, okay, that's nice. That's nice. They're showing me that either you're expressing something after this fallout, after, you know, the disagreement has settled down and, you know, everybody goes to their corner, everybody takes a breath, you know, and this, I'm using certain terminology that might seem like a big blow up. In some of your cases, sure, you've had a big blow up. In other cases, you've had like a slow devolving of a relationship or of a situation, and it has been months, maybe even years, trying to work something out, and finally, you know, the dam breaks, and finally, you know, it's over for realsies. So I feel like a lot of you, some of you have had big blow-ups in certain relationships or conversations or what have you. Others of you, you've tried for a long time to maintain a situation that finally has given way, that finally has been put to bed, and you have walked away, or someone has walked away from you, where the situation, like again with the landscape, is desolate. It's over, right? So after that has happened, in whatever form it takes place, there's a revelation for you, a personal revelation, a revelation that you share with other people, a revelation that you acknowledge to yourself and only to yourself. I don't know, but this Ace of Swords feels like maybe even like an epiphany. And I don't know in what way you would need to express it to the people or the person that maybe you had a falling out with. I don't know that this Ace of Swords is necessarily traveling back towards this situation. I think it comes from that situation. Does that make sense? So you might have a new truth that you realize or that you want to express, but maybe not to the people that you've had a falling out with. Maybe going forward from this day forth, Aries will now say this, or Aries will now do this, or Aries now believes this, whatever it is. So this Five of Swords has changed you or altered a perspective that you've had. Aha, thank you. It has altered a perspective, because when we talk about swords, we talk about mental capacity, we talk about our beliefs, we talk about, you know, the way that we rationalize the world, and often we talk about how we communicate. So you have learned something in that realm, Aries, after this Five of Swords debacle, we'll call it, or situation, not a debacle. Although in some of your cases, maybe it was a debacle. But that Five of Swords situation has given you insight into something very personal. I don't know what this is. I'm going to tell you that. I'm not able to access exactly what the Ace of Swords is about, other than it's a revelation, it's an epiphany, it's some type of new perspective or some type of truth that maybe was hidden before, or maybe if it wasn't hidden, it was subconscious, it wasn't exactly understood by you, or you weren't always giving light to it, okay? Giving life or light, thank you, life or light to it. So I don't know what that means. It can be a transformative revelation for you personally. It could be transformative in terms of your own identity is kind of what this feels like. Your identity. Some of your identities are changing, okay? That could be literal, like on paper, you are now married, you are now divorced, you are now male, you are now female, you are now, you know, no longer a citizen of the United States. Maybe now you're a citizen of, you know, Brazil. I don't know. It's like something official about you is changing, is transformed. That truth is coming out. So that can go in so many ways. And it doesn't have to be, you know, a declaration. My name is Aries and I am blah, blah, blah. It doesn't have to be like that. It can be really quiet and to yourself. Some of you might realize, you know what? I have a problem with alcohol, or I have a problem with drugs, or I have a problem with, you know, being argumentative in relationships. You know what I mean? It can be any type of revelation, but it's very private. You might express it to certain people, but again, the inception point or the ground from which this has come is from that Five of Swords situation that is predating this December period. This feels like it's not current for most of you. This feels like it has finally finished up, maybe around now, maybe around December or November. But again, it's not, you're not going to carry that Five of Swords forward. That's basically what they want me to tell you. So this is very interesting, because Aries, I don't think many of you are even necessarily 100% sure yet what the Ace of Swords is. Maybe through continued time and processing and reevaluation or reflection, you're going to get to that. But I feel that this Ace of Swords, ultimately, to be kind of cheesy, is going to set you free in a way. It's going to allow you to be more forthright and more on point. Okay, that's more what I think I want to say. More on point as you go forward. Like, the Ace of Swords is not a BS energy in general, Aries. So if you or someone else in your life previous to now was about that bullshit, was a perpetrator of BS, or was someone who had hidden feelings or hidden agendas or hidden, maybe not hidden in this case, but like repressed perspectives or repressed emotions, something like that. No more of that. So that's very good. I feel like there's a progression here that's very positive, even though in the moment you probably feel like poo-poo. Yeah. So what else is happening? Yeah, man. Okay. So I feel you get this boost in your energy. And I don't think there's anybody else here, which is fascinating. There might be another person here, but we'll see. So what else happens with Aries? Please show me. Okay, yeah, because they're like, those are, yeah. 8 of Cups, okay? So, talk about reflection. Talk about feeling like poo-poo. 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups is traditionally a card of, you know, emotional dissatisfaction and seeking your satisfaction, because after the 8, we get to the 9 of Cups, the 10 of Cups, which are two of the most positive in the cup suit, right? So with the 8 of Cups, that's like the precursor to joy, the precursor to happiness, the precursor to contentment and feeling fulfilled, right? 8 of Cups in this deck, I always mention how this guy's just sitting there looking like a sap, looking like he, you know, can't help himself. And sometimes that in other decks and in many other interpretations I've done over the years, that has been there. You know, the 8 of Cups is both a proactive energy, because in the traditional tarot, you see somebody walking off the scene, right? It's also a mournful and sorrowful energy because, you know, someone is, as you can see, looking pretty sad. So I think, again, I'm connecting with two different types of Aries, or maybe this is like a polarity that exists within you right now, as an individual, where part of you feels really like proactive. I want to go out there. I want to get back out there. You know, yes, this loss was a little painful. Yeah, I'm bitter about it, or yeah, I'm upset about it. But ultimately, I got to pull myself up by the bootstraps and get back out there and live my life. That's part of you. Another part of you is sitting there sulking, sitting there reflecting, sitting there feeling like a pity party, you know, table for one, pity party, you know, that's also in you. So I'm either talking to two distinct groups of Aries, or that dynamic exists within you right now as a singular person, as an individual, yeah? And that makes sense, you know, gosh, you know, nobody out here is, you know, life in general, Aries, when we talk about struggles, it's not called struggle because it's easy, or it's not called difficulty because it's easy. It's not called, you know, loss because it's easy, you know? So I'm not here to fault you, and I'm not here to say, stop feeling sorry for yourself. But just the artwork that's on this card is just like, guy, he's stranded on an island, right? You see his little broken down boat, and it looks like he's coming from a yacht. So maybe some of you have that feeling. I had it all. Like, look at this guy dressed like he was on a party, like he was having a party on a boat, and now he's like stranded on a deserted island, right? It's like night and day. I was living my life. I was out there on the high seas. I was with women. I had drinks. I had friends. And now I'm just sitting here with all this debris looking like a sad sack, you know? So maybe that's a reality for some of you, or maybe not reality, but maybe that's your perception of what's going on. I had it all, now I have nothing. I had this, but now I have that. And you feel a loss in that. You feel a downgrade. Now, again, what is the 8 of Cups about? It's about realizing your dissatisfaction. It's about realizing that you're not emotionally contented, that you're not emotionally fulfilled, right? And you have to start making moves towards the 9 of Cups and the 10 of Cups. That is what I think you are within December, even after the new year. I'm feeling maybe even up until spring for some of you. That's interesting that they're giving me time, because I don't normally talk in terms of time when I do tarot. But I feel that as time progresses, as it would anyway, naturally, that's what life is. It ebbs and flows, comes in waves, right? Eventually, Aries, you're going to start making these moves. For now, though, I think you're really oscillating between feeling really excited or invigorated about the prospects of the future, but then also lamenting and feeling really down about what has transpired up until this point in your life. I'm not here to tell you what to do with that energy. I would advise that you transmute it as much as possible, especially since what I'm generally feeling, Aries, is that underneath it all, even if you're sitting there and you're reflecting and you're saying, oh, my life is the worst and this is the worst thing ever, and you're really like down on yourself, I feel innately down in my core, in my solar plexus, this is part of being an empath, right? I feel even in the middle of you losing it all, quote unquote, losing it all, you actually are feeling fine. Meaning, you're resourceful. You are persistent. You are tenacious. That's part of Aries' innate character. It's hard to keep an Aries down. I have yet to meet an Aries, and I've met few over the years. I've yet to meet one that is so, woe is me, my life is, I've yet to meet somebody who stays in that energy for a long time. So that's why I'm not really worried about this. And if you're worried about it, that's interesting. Please say hello to me in the comments, because there's a resiliency innately to Aries that some zodiacs would chop off their arm for your ability to bounce back. You see what I mean? So in the middle of you sitting here and saying, I've lost it all, I don't have what I used to, this person has left my life, that person has left my life, that job is no longer mine, oh, I lost my house. And I'm not trying to say all of these things are minimal or they're not impactful in your life. They very much are. But in the grand scheme of things, it hasn't squashed your resiliency. It hasn't squashed or taken away your innate ability, Aries, to get yourself out of a dump, to get yourself out of a funk. So I don't know when and where, but eventually that's going to stop for you. I already know it. So as defeatist as the Five of Swords defeatist as the Eight of Cups might feel, and how tired and exhausted the Five of Swords might feel, you're going to be okay. Maybe it's the holiday blues. A lot of people get really sad in the wintertime. I understand. It's cold outside, at least where I'm from. It's like very cold. Not as cold as other places in the world, right? But it's cold enough. There's no green on the leaf or on the tree branches, and there's no birds tweeting in the morning. Like it can be kind of a depressing time of year for many people up here, right, in the northern hemisphere. So I get it. So after we have quiet revelations, but then we reflect on our sads, which we're all allowed to do. We're all humans, yeah. I feel you have some comeuppance, but in a good way. you're like a glow up, or like some type of recovery happens for you. You remember who you are. Thank you. They put that right in my head. You remember who you are. And you would think I would go immediately to the Emperor card if you're familiar with the tarot, but I'm not. I'm going to go to the Page of Wands first. You immediately remember who you are. And thank you. This is why they want me to come to the Prince of Wands first. Prince of Wands, aka Knight of Wands in the traditional tarot. Listen, that's that get up and go energy, which is hanging right above your Five of Swords energy. So this is inactive. This is defeatist. This is laying down, just letting the world pass you by, and this is grabbing life by the horns, grabbing life by the balls, whatever. The Knight of Wands or the Prince of Wands is a very tenacious energy. It's a very proactive energy. It's very much, what am I going to do next? What do I want to accomplish? What do I want to see? How do I want to color in the canvas of my life? This Prince of Wands is not daunted by any task at hand. He does not feel abashed or incapable of accomplishing his goals. And that all translates back to you, Aries. Like I said, I haven't felt anybody else here directly in your reading. I feel peripherally. There are people that you are thinking about, that you're concerned about. There are people from your past. There are people who live it, who are around you now that, yeah, you care about them. But this reading is totally for you. You're all over this shit. And where you are, what you're doing here is you're enlightened. Well, maybe not enlightened, but you see how the sun is coming up from behind his head there? This is your revitalization point. This is where you remember, I'm Aries. For God's sakes, I am Aries. And it's not, you know, some of you have a lot of pride in your zodiac, as you should, as all signs should. You should always be proud of whatever zodiac represents you, right? So some of you have it because you're like, yeah, I'm an Aries. I'm not easily defeated. I'm not easily daunted by anything. Great. But it's more of a personal thing. I am Joe Smith. I am, you know, Marge Simpson. I mean, some of you might, you know, literally be named Marge Simpson. But you know what I mean? It's like you are identifying with yourself. This is kind of an egotist card. It can be, in some instances, considered like a Don Juan or like a, you know, wham bam thank you ma'am, if we're talking romantic and sexual encounters or entanglements. So some of you, you know, to get over your ex, to get over losing whatever you had here, and whatever you're lamenting, some of you are going to get out there. You're going to start slanging that. You know, let it out. Go ahead, do it. Release it. Release the Kraken. Or, you know, get the Kraken coming towards you. Whatever. And like I said, it is a little bit of an ego thing. So I get that energy a little bit for those where you may have had a long-term relationship, a marriage, what have you, and you and that person are no longer together. Your ego might be a little bit bruised. And so in order to prove to yourself that you still got it, you actually go out and get laid. You actually go out, maybe if the sexual part is not a part of it, maybe you just want to go out on several dates. You know, you call up your friends like, oh, is that guy Tony still single? I want to talk to him. And your friends are like, you just broke up like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, what's his number? Give me his number. You know, it's like your ego needs to be reminded that I am able to pull if I need to pull. Yeah, that 15 years, it's down the toilet. But guess what, buddy? I can still get it if I need it. You see what I mean? So the Knight of Wands is that type of energy, or the Prince of Wands is that type of energy where whatever I want, I'm capable of doing it. And any type of challenge or anything that other people look at you and they say like, Aries, what are you doing? Like, that's kind of weird that you want to do that. Like, don't you think you should it's like a hold my beer kind of energy, right? Hold my beer. Let me show you what I'm capable of doing. If you lost a job, you're out there with your resume, you're submitting to jobs left and right, or you're starting your own business, or you're picking up every type of side hustle because you're not going to be kept down. That job, it's, you know, like I'm getting, again, like this ego thing. It's their loss. They fired me, their loss. I quit, still their loss. Whatever the reason that you are no longer where you used to be, it's the other entity's, the other person's loss. That's what's going to boil up inside of you, or crop up inside of you, Aries, eventually. Eventually. For right now, probably the remainder of 2019, and like I said, maybe even up until spring, you might not feel that way. But eventually, you're going to turn that, those jets are going to go right back on. That fire that is innate in you that says, I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. I can have anything in this world that I choose to have. And I can be, that's the other thing. There's a confidence with the Prince of Wands that, again, can touch into ego or being, you know, arrogant. But usually, Aries has the goods to back it up. I have to say that. And in most of the cases, the Aries that I've met, they got the goods. They talk a good game and they walk a good game. Bravo. Fellow fire sign, bravo. Okay? So eventually, you get this confidence back. Yeah? You get this understanding of who you are, which might have something to do with that revelation that you are probably having right now. And, you know, this could be a long mulling over. Given that I talked about the Five of Swords, the Ace of Swords, and then the Eight of Cups, in terms of time, this might be incubating. this revelation. Because again, I said I couldn't really get it clearly what that meant. So it might be incubating inside of you right now, whatever that Ace of Swords is, okay? Now, after the Prince of Wands, what do we get? Yeah, buddy. Ooh, see? And I just rested my hand here, but I was actually contemplating the last two cards, but I put my hand there, so that's what it is. So, the Magician. Major Arcana 4. Oh, don't blank right now. Come on. Gemini and Virgo, as it's ruled by Mercury, yeah, or associated with Mercury, I should say. This card is. So, secondary for both of those signs. Come on. What do we want to say with that? Yeah, you're a creator. Like, it's that simple. I feel you're going to come into a situation, Aries, where unexpectedly you get resources or help, okay? Because the Magician, he gets the resources. He's got the cups, the sword, the pentacles, and the wand, right? That's all there on the table here. Those are the tools, the resources. You probably possess some of them right now, right? Some of the tools and the resources that you need for further success in your life, or whatever rebound you might be on, or whatever revelation or newfound identity that you might have, right? Remember, I said some of you have a new identity that's emerging over the next few weeks or months, right? So in that time, your resources build, whether that be money, whether that be, you know, opportunity, whether that be support from friends and family, whether that be, you know, some of you might have, gosh, what is that? Okay. That's very specific, but they're showing me like food vendors. And then they showed me a food truck. So maybe some of you are trying to do a food truck kind of thing, or you're trying to, you know, start a restaurant business, something like that. But in time, and so if you were to start a food truck or a restaurant, what? You need the truck, you need the equipment inside the truck, you need to have, you know, a generator, you need to have all those things, right? So this is like, in time, you start to amass, you start to accumulate the things that you need that are going to support your new identity or your new ideas or whatever new endeavor that you're on. This Five of Swords and that Eight of Cups, as much as I talked about them a lot, like at this point in the reading, they're in the rear view. Like this is going away, this is going away, this stays by your side, this guy's emerging, and the Emperor's going to be where we end up. But so with the Magician, Aries, is you begin to create your new reality. If you were in a relationship where maybe you were miserable, or maybe you, there we go. Maybe you lost a sense of who you were in a relationship. If you were married for a long time, and I get this, a lot of times we take on the attributes and we take on the personality traits or some of the belief systems of the person that we're with. Now that you're divorced, or now that you're single, Pringle out here in the world, right? You have to then rediscover, who am I? Who is Aries? What do I believe in? What do I have for myself? And so you create this, right? So you live in a new apartment by yourself. Maybe you've never in your life, maybe your husband or your wife was deathly allergic to dogs. Now that you live alone and you're paying a premium price, you go ahead and you adopt a dog. Something like that, where now you have the resources that will support what you want to create. I've always wanted to own a poodle. I would never personally, but maybe that's you. So you get a poodle in your nice single condo, you and little Mr. Shih, I was going to call him a Shih Tzu. So maybe you want a Shih Tzu. So a poodle, a Shih Tzu, whatever, a Mastiff, it doesn't matter. You get this dog. This dog, and being a dog owner and going to the dog park and, you know, going and getting like little clothes to dress your dog up in. This is this whole new behavior, this whole new self that could not exist because where you were previously living with your ex, who could not live with an animal, otherwise they'd get deathly, you know, incredibly sick or whatever. Now, as yourself, you become a dog owner and you do things that dog owners do, right? The good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. You see what I mean? That's just an example. That's really all that has come through clearly with what this magician is about. I'm redefining myself. I'm reintroducing myself to maybe myself. Maybe you never imagined because you thought your marriage was going to last forever, so your dream of owning a dog was dead in the water. Now that that marriage is over, you know, RIP, okay? Respect to the loss of the marriage, respect to the loss of the relationship. But now that that's over, I get to rewrite who I am. And new Aries owns a goddamn dog and loves the shit out of that dog. You see what I mean? So the magician takes the fervor and the intensity and the spark of the Prince of Wands and actually cultivates it or is able to mold it into some type of reality and present it forth. So I have a house where I can live with my dog. I dress him up in little clothes. We go walking down the block. People give compliments to my dog. And oh, look at that. I'm able to pull a number because my dog looks so cute. You see what I mean? It's just like this whole new self is emerging, which ironically leads you back to who you are anyway. The Emperor, your major arcana card here, Aries. So in some cases now, they definitely hit me. Pick it back up, thank you. They definitely hit me real quick with boss, 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 boss. So some of you are about to be the boss of something. Like literally the boss of a business, literally the boss or the manager or the person in charge of a department, just the person who signs the checks, basically. So some of you are going in that route, even though I was just talking about owning a dog, but it translates. Again, the dog thing was just an analogy. If you have wanted to be the leader at your job, you start to do things with that magician card, practical steps you start to take to show, I want to lead here. I want to be in charge. I want to be the manager. I want to be the head of development. Cool. What do I need to do? I need to go get a degree. I need to go get certified. Boom. That's what you go do with the magician card and the Prince of Wands to back you up. You see what I mean? So eventually you get back to this place of power. Very strong power. And not power because you want to lord it over other people and you're out on vengeance and you're going to be the boss from hell. No. Power is in self-possessed power. I'm in charge of me. I'm here to show my skills and my abilities within the workplace. I'm here to show my skills and my abilities to be a single person living on their own after having, you know, a 15, 20-year marriage, go down the tubes, whatever. This is really strong self-assertion and understanding that some of you have really not had for a long time in your life, if not ever. It's always been inside of you. Like I said, I've said a few times about innate energy or innate abilities. It's always been there under the surface, in your veins, in your actual genetic code. It's always been there, but has never been able to shine. You're about to shine. That's great. That's great. I want to say more about that, but I don't think I really have to. Let me take a breath and see if there's more that they want me to say, because that Emperor is very much in charge. Okay, thank you. We're going to talk about that. 2 seconds. Because, again, I've pointed out several times, Aries, that I haven't felt other people here really. And so for those that are concerned about your relationships with other people, either people from the past, people that you know now, or any potential relationships in the future, family, friends, lovers, it doesn't matter. As much as I've focused, or excuse me, as much as this reading has been focused on you as an individual, keep in mind that the Emperor takes care of, Emperor runs an empire, correct? Right? Emperors run empires. And because they run empires, that means that they are in charge of or have certain dominion or certain status over other people. Now, again, I said, you know, something about boss, and I don't feel an energy here where any Aries, or at least the Aries that I'm connecting with, they want to be in charge of other people. That's not the point. You want to be able to provide, to take care of, and to have good relationships with other people. The Emperor sometimes can be a bit of a hard ass. He can be a little bit of a tyrant, but that, considering everything else that's out here, I don't feel it. I feel that this is, yes, this is a conscious effort to do it right. So, how does that translate? If you have had tension with your family members, maybe you are the mother or the father of some people in this life. You're a parent, right? That's a weird way to say that. You're the mother or the father of some people. You're a parent. So maybe this Five of Swords has been, and the Eight of Cups was about you having a fallout with your children, no matter how old they are, no matter whatever the circumstances, no matter the specifics, right? Getting back to an emperor status for you, Aries, whether you're male or female, it does not matter, means, or excuse me, in tandem with the Prince of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and that Magician card, I feel that you're being more conscious of how you show up as a parent in your child's life. If your kid shouted at you, I hate you, I never want to speak to you again, or you've never been there for me, and da-da-da-da-da, and they like told you what they really felt about you, or felt about your connection, that definitely could give you Five of Swords and Eight of Cups, right? So you go on this self-reflection journey, right? You look back on what you've done. You, like I said, you come to some type of singular individual revelation about yourself that I don't have strict detail on, but you learn about yourself, or you have new considerations and perspectives that you see yourself with, right? So then that all circles back around to you coming back, new debut. You know, it's like a rebranding. Thank you. We'll call it a rebranding, right? You know how some brands, like, they go away for a while, introducing the new da-da-da, and it's like the same old thing, like it's the same product in the package, but the package is different, right? And I'm not trying to say that you're having like a shallow repackaging. It's not that. It's the same person. It's still you, but it's a new way of expressing yourself. It's a new way of showing up. You know, again, like, you know, in the divorce, you know, the kid comes over to your house. Oh, you have a dog? We never could have a dog. Yeah, I know, because daddy was allergic. So now that, you know, I live by myself, I can have a dog. This is Mr. Kittles. What kind of name is that? I don't know. But this is, you know, it's just like this newness to you is still going to, well, not still going to, but it's a, I don't think you need to worry about what's the word? I don't think, because I feel some of you are worried about this new version of me, this being in my power, this being in my self-possessed energy. Is that going to, thank you, that's the word, alienate. Is that going to alienate or keep me away from people that I want to be close with? Because again, the Emperor takes care of those that he cares for, or those that live in his empire, so to speak, right? I don't think so. I think that you traveling this whole route is very healthy for you and is ultimately helpful, or at least it's firm enough ground, it's fertile enough ground for you to start over in some relationships where maybe things became estranged. And it's very fruitful for future relationships that you might want to have. Again, friends, family, lovers, it doesn't matter, okay? Interesting. Outcome is the Queen of Cups in reverse. Water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. You could be dealing with a water sign, but you don't have to be. This deck always changes the color of the camera, and I don't know why. Anyway, in reverse, though, this could be another person. If it is, this might be someone that you're taking a break from. This might be someone within the month of December, a little bit past the holidays, that you just don't have a firm grip on what your relationship is about, who this person is to you, or who you are to them. It could be the person that you have recently had a falling out with. This could be a new person to you. It really doesn't matter. The quality of this person is that they are an emotional person, but they hide it. They are not talkative. They are not overly expressive, and they might just be like, again, how I said at some point earlier in the reading, depressed because of the season. This person could be in a foul mood, or in an, not foul, but in an unapproachable mood because of just the temperature, just because of, you know, the season. It's winter, and a lot of people get kind of crabby or, you know, bluesy in the wintertime. I think that for you, if this is another person, I don't know, again, who they are. They could be a friend, they could be a roommate, you know, they could be your mother, your father, your lover. It doesn't matter. but I would say leave them be. The Queen of Cups in reverse can be kind of broody, moody, not the best, most compassionate character at this moment. And that's to be expected. If someone is literally depressed and you want to approach them and, you know, have good conversation, good relationship with them, they might not be in the mood to receive that. There you go. This person might not be in the best headspace, heart space, whatever, to receive whatever you have for them. So that's very interesting. This is like the first time I felt definitely someone else is here. But if this isn't someone else, because I still feel this is a very self-contained reading for you, Aries, if this is you as an outcome, yeah, within the month of December, for sure. This is, because again, everything I said about Prince of Wands, Emperor, Ace of Swords, and the Magician, that's incubating. It's gestating. It is growing. What you're dealing with in this moment, right now, Five of Swords, Eight of Cups, and Queen of Cups in reverse. So emotionally, for yourself, Aries, in your own self-contained energy, you're just not mature, because I'm getting for you, this is an immature energy. I feel a lot of stamping of feet. I don't care how old you are. I feel this like, I don't wanna. It's like a stamping of feet. It's like a, I want this, I want that, I want it now. It's like, oh, like Veruca Salt from Willy Wonka, okay? I don't care which one you're watching, the Johnny Depp one or the Gene Wilder one, it doesn't matter. But it's like, I want it now. And you will not be satisfied. So this is being dissatisfied. This is being a little bit cranky. This is being definitely, I want something that I can't have, and since I can't have it, I'm going to throw a fit about it, or I'm going to be mopey about it, okay? Can be reflective on what happened in the Five of Swords or the Eight of Cups, sure. But this is, don't worry about this. Whether it's another person or whether it's you, don't worry about it. This will not last. This energy will not last. This dissatisfaction or someone being in a depressed state. Either leave the other person alone or just let those feelings, I mean, feel what you're feeling, but again, transmute as much as possible. If you ever have a moment to transmute an energy, snap yourself out of a certain state of mind. If you can, meditate, yoga, you know, go, you know, punch a speed bag. We all have different ways of transmuting energy. Whatever you do, do it. Overall energy for you, Aries, is the Five of Pentacles. So, for God's sakes, like I just said, in this moment, right now, in December, and probably up until spring, many of you are going to feel like this. Five of Swords, Eight of Cups, Queen of Cups in reverse. Five of Pentacles as well. This is a card of poverty. So some of you, and I don't mean to laugh, because that's one of those relative terms, poverty, and the prospect of loss, and the prospect of what it feels like to be, quote unquote, poor, is different for everybody. You know, $5,000 in the bank is poor to somebody, but $5,000 in the bank to someone else is like being the richest person on earth. You see what I mean? It's all relative. So regardless, as an overall energy, you are in this place of poverty, or you're in a poverty state of mind. You feel the loss of something. You feel as though you don't have access to something or someone, whether that be emotions, whether in the case of Pentacles, we're talking about money or resources or finances, or like I said, a person, because you do see a lot of people wrapped up looking like refugees or something like that. And, you know, they're all in a similar situation. So in general, your overall energy is not having the best outlook. But again, I'm not worried about you, and that please don't take offense to that. I mean, I am worried about people who follow me and watch my channel. Like, I hope you all have amazing lives and you're doing okay. But if you're not, Aries, I'm telling you, something about you, whether it's purely based on your astrological makeup or whether it's about you as a person, whoever's connecting with this message, do not discount yourself. Do not discount your own abilities, your own energy. You are okay. You will be okay. Everything will be fine in the long run. For the moment, for this little valley that you're in your life, we all go through it, peaks and valleys, right? You're in the valley. What happens after the valley? You climb up the peak. You get to the mountaintop. You become inspired again. You become capable again. Yeah? You have great new perspectives and ideas about your life, and you go out and you create it. Those are the things I want you to focus on in this reading. If you needed a boost, if you need something to be hopeful for, be hopeful of those 4 cards. The other things I feel is temporary. So temporary that you need not concern yourself with it in the day to day, okay? So again, transmute your energy, you know, change your thoughts. If you get into like a downtrodden, really like negative headspace, transmute that energy as soon as you can. Maybe that's it. Snap your fingers. Be like, nope, I'm not thinking negative thoughts. Something like that, okay? Aries, that is your reading for December. We got there. If you liked it, the like button is down below. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, guys. I'm a pretty cool person around here, I think. If you want to leave a comment, let me know how this resonated in your life. That would be amazing. And, of course, share the video if you want other people to know that I'm a cool reader, or if you want to give people an insight into something that you're going through right now in your life. Aries, I'm going to be back soon with the mid-December readings, and I'm also going to bring back the no communications readings. Those went off pretty well. I think it was September, so I'm going to bring those back in December. So if you have no communication, or, well, the way the no communications go is, it's for the person who's dealing with you. So if you're here cross-watching for an Aries and you're not talking to them, come back when I do the no communications for those dealing with Aries, and you can watch that video. Aries, if you're dealing with someone who you're not in communication with, look out for their zodiac sign, okay? Yeah, and again, after the new year, I'll go live again for the collective. If you happen to need to cross-watch on a Capricorn, I'm going to go live for Capricorn in the middle of December at some point, because it's their birthday period, so they've got that to look forward to. Is it? No, not Capricorn, I'm sorry. Sagittarius. Hey, Sagittarius. So you have a lot of things you can look forward to from my channel, Aries, and of course, if you guys are subscribed and you hit the notification bell, you'll see it as soon as it's uploaded, okay? All right, Aries, I thank you so much for watching the video today. Take care.